So I'm up here on the hill on my neighbor's property. I was testing out this new child carrier backpack thing that we got. Yeah, she's still alive, just asleep. It's an Osprey Pogo or something, I don't know. Link in the description if you're interested. Anyways, I'm out here checking out my neighbor's. You can kind of see that little white spot right there. There's an excavator, and he's working on a downhill mountain bike course in this part of the hill. And so I was walking back. Well, first down over there where there's a guy cutting a tree down, and I didn't want to be like under it because there's a water catchment tank sort of near under the tree, and I think somebody over there uses a spring to feed their house. I'll do a video on that later to see what they have, if anything. But I was walking back through a different part of the hill that I've never walked back through, and I see some odd things here on the ground. You can see some black pipes. I was like, what are these for? And there's also water there. What's that for? So very carefully make my way up to the hill. You can see there's some flashing and concrete there. So let's see where that goes. It's quite steep and slippery. All right. On this concrete, we have seemingly nothing except some trees. And over here, a hole. Fairly deep hole. Okay. This is a cistern. This concrete here is a water cistern for presumably houses or businesses down there. Let's not drop my phone in there. I don't want to have to go get it. You can see here, this might have been like an overflow, and I'm not sure where the other pipe comes out. So we can also see some extra flashing here. Those were probably lids for it. What's that say? Something balanced, welcome. Carte Blanche. Carte Blanche, welcome. Stick my phone in here so you can see it. So presumably, water would enter this cistern from a spring up there. Let's go see if we can find it. There's also right here some sort of piece of plastic or something. That's a cable spool of some sort. I don't know what that would have been for and why it's up here. Alright, I can tell that there is some spring water here coming up the hill. So I'm going to shut the phone off and see how far we go. The spring might be way up there, in which case I'm not going to take the baby in the carrier up there. I might have to explore that later. Alright, I've walked a little bit and I can tell that the spring, like this water trough here, goes all the way up to the top there. So I'm not going to be doing that right now. So watch out for part 2 of this video where we find where this water's coming from. I'm not that much higher than the cistern, it's right there. And you can see a little bit of flowing water here. And hazard a guess that's probably 2 gallons a minute, which would be certainly sufficient for any sort of domestic use, for sure. Oh yeah, it's really steep. That's the hillside. That's the profile of the hill, pretty much the whole way up. Just a little perspective. Turn around 360 or 180, and where my water line would run is probably 100 yards that way to another spring. So this water here is not the spring that I'm going to be using. It's a different spring from the same water strata or geological strata. I'm not sure the correct term. So that's it for this little video. And I'll see you around for part 2, maybe in a day or so when I get up here and finally explore the rest of this. Maybe we'll see what the spring's doing too, because I'll be up there anyways. So the water I just filmed at for the end of this video is right there, and I walked a little bit this way and I find this barrel with some cut off pipe there. So presumably this might have been maybe a secondary catchment tank for another property, or maybe it was originally excuse me, maybe it was originally over there. That's the cistern there. Maybe they just threw it over here. I don't know. Who knows why? It's obviously been here for 50 years or so. A little bit more perspective, in case you're wondering, because you're here anyways. There's my house there. So this is a stream that I'm going to be using for the hydro. And it comes up here. And it goes way up there. Again, very, very steep hillside. And right here is where they've cleared for their mountain bike trail. And that other cistern was right over there. And the water that was coming down was right over there. So, yeah, there you go. Addendum 3. There's the mountain bike path I just showed you. I was just standing right up there. And I'm down here at this creek. I didn't really see it before, but now I see it. This would appear to be a spring. I see no flowing water. But I know for a fact that's not the case, because this water dips underground somewhere up there. So, yeah. Obviously very steep, not suitable for much wildlife, maybe some salamanders, which have plenty of other places to live along this hillside. Quick addendum 4. I'm in my backyard now. It's raining. There's this concrete block here with a wire sticking out of it, and I've always wondered what this was for, and now I kind of put it together. There was probably a water tank on this, and the water tank, or pressure tank or whatever, probably fed what used to be the bottom there, which is a horse stable. Addendum 5. You guys are probably wondering what a mountain bike course, downhill mountain bike track, would sort of look like. And so he's using a Takachi 230 to do this, which is quite a large banked berm. Obviously he has some drainage issues to work through. That's a pool big enough I could probably go in knee deep. Nice bath there. So that's what he's been working on, just so you guys have some perspective here. And we just had a lot of rain, and water is actively filling up that pond. So maybe if he does like a trench with a 4-inch pipe coming out of the bottom, and that would take care of the water. Or maybe just keep the water from getting in there in the first place, but that probably wouldn't work very well. And I try to be as vague as possible with where I live, just to maintain my privacy and my neighbor's privacy too. Other than saying I live somewhere in Pennsylvania, you'd probably have a pretty hard time figuring out where I live, because most of Pennsylvania actually looks just like this.